Hey everyone, Helen, your Emotion Code and Body Code Certified Practitioner, coming to you from the Inside Out Institute in a series where we're talking about our inner child. And in today's episode, we're actually going to look at the different types of inner child we may have within us. And I've actually got some overlays which are going to help us do that. So let's get right into it. So with the first one I'm going to look at is the abandoned or the orphan child. And this is a child that tends to be really independent throughout their life. They tend to be a loner, and they do things on their own. They avoid groups and they conquer their fears themselves. So they don't really reach out to others very much. And in fact, when the negative aspect of them emerges, they may tend to push others away and isolate themselves and not allow loved ones in. And they may even seek a surrogate family to help fill that emotional void that they have within them. So the next one is the wounded child. And this is a child that holds memories of a traumatic or an abusive past. And this may have happened right over the course of their lives and often at the hands of more than one person. So when they're balanced, they are an incredibly compassionate and caring person who is really willing to do whatever it takes to help people who have suffered at the hands of abuse themselves and help them overcome it. However, when they're still feeling the effects of that themselves through their inner child, they can be stuck in this pattern of repeating abuse with either their partners, their bosses, or even their friends, and they can actually play the victim and blame all their problems on their dysfunctional past. The next inner child that we're taking a look at is the eternal or Peter Pan child. And as the name suggests, this is the playful child, forever young, looking at the fun and playful ways to do things in life and look at life. And they tend to remain young in their mind, body, and their spirit. However, when they get stuck in this, they may become really irresponsible and unreliable, especially when handling adult tasks. And they may even struggle with accepting personal boundaries of others and become overly dependent on their loved ones. Now, the next few that we're going to take a look at, and of course, there may be more than this out there, but we're just going over these ones here, is the magical child. And this is a child that tends to be carefree and sees the world through a lens of limitless possibilities. They're the dreamers of the world. And when this belief and possibility gets drummed out of them, they can actually become quite pessimistic and cynical and depressed. And they can also retreat into a fantasy world. Now, the next one we're going to talk about is one that's not often picked up by many people. So this is the divine inner child, and as the name suggests, full of innocence, purity, and godlike qualities. They believe in redemption and often are connected with the divine. However, the negative aspect of this is that they can become really overwhelmed with negative energies and unable to defend themselves, and they may even exhibit uncontrollable anger when hearing about evil or facing evil themselves. The last one we're going to look at today is the nature inner child. And this is a child who obviously loves nature, all things plants and environmental, and often tends to gravitate towards animals as friends rather than their human counterparts. There is a negative side to this nature child as well, and they can lash out at those around them and use nature as punishment, hurting plants, animals, and even people. So we've just taken a look at probably the main types of inner child that most people would exhibit. And if you're recognizing this inner child within you, just make friends with it, make peace, and especially if it's a wounded inner child. If it's a wounded inner child, you may want to help listen to guided meditations for inner child work to help you sort of recognize that child, make peace with it, and become more connected and attached to it. And you can actually really transform your life just by acknowledging and recognizing this inner child. So that's all I've got for you this week. As always, wonderful to have you along with me as we journey through these different aspects of ourselves and learn how we can become the best versions of ourselves. So take care, everyone, and I'll catch up with you next time.